Hello everybody. In this video I'll introduce arrays in Excel VBA. It's not too hard and it's really powerful, that stuff that you can hold data in an array. So let's look at this worksheet here. We have a column here. We have 5 numbers in it, and let's just say that we don't know what the size, how many numbers are going to be in this column. So there might be 6, there might be 7, there might be 100, who knows. And what we want to do is take this column of numbers and hold it in an array, put it in an array, and then put it back on this worksheet here in column B. So this is just an example of using an array and filling an array and then getting the elements from an array. And all an array is a structure that holds elements that can be integers, that can be strings. You can have an array of anything, really. You can have a one-dimensional array, which is what this is going to be, and if you know the size, it's called a static array. If you don't know the size, it's called a dynamic array. So this is a dynamic array because we don't know the size of the array. You could have a two-dimensional array, which would have more columns, but I'll put a video on that later. So let's look how we fill this array. So first thing I did was I created a subroutine called make array. I declared an array here called my array. Since I don't know the size, I don't put the size in here. If I knew the size was 100, I would put 100 here. And what kind of array is it? It's going to be integer. If you had an array of strings or words, you would put as string, but this is going to be all numbers. Then I declared a variable called index, xrow, and the size. Index is the position of the array, the position of the element in the array. And what's important to know is that arrays in VBA have an index, a base index of 0. So if you have 5 elements in your array, the size of your array is going to be 4 and the base index is going to be 0. So it would go from position 0, position 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 elements. So that's important, is that the index starts out at 0. Okay, so now I want to loop through this column, so I'm going to need an xrow variable to increase the row, and then I'm going to also need to increase the size of the array because I don't know the size of the array, and I want to increase it just by 1 after every time I put a variable, an element in the array. And also remember, the index starts out at 0. So you declare an array up here, you don't know the size, but then you need to redimension the array here. And that's what you do. You take this size of 1, and now you have an array of size 1, so it can hold one thing, one element. So now let's step through this, and I have a do loop here that's going to loop down column A until it reaches a blank cell, and it'll have all the elements. It'll put all the elements in the array, so it's going to fill the array. So how does it do that? Well, here I select the cell, which I selected this cell here. Now I want to put that value, I'm going to put the value here into the array. So remember, index is 0, so this value is going to go into my array index 0. Now I'm going to, so here we fill the array. Now I'm going to increase the size of the array by 1, and I'm going to redimension the array right here. So I increase the size, and now I redimension the array to that size. So originally size was 1, it could hold one thing. After I put something in it, I want to make it 1 bigger, so I did that here, and now I make the array ability to have the ability to hold 1 more. So this is redimensioning the array. You have to put preserve in, because if you don't, when you redimension it, you'll lose all the values in the array. Now I increase the index by 1 because next time I want the number 67 to go in index number 1. So then I do that, and then I increase xrow, and now I'm going to move down here and just keep filling the array. So I fill the array. Now what I want to do in column B is print the array. So I make x row 1 and index 0. And index is 0 because I want to print the array from number 2. So number 2 is in index 0. So I'm going to print 2 right here in cell B1. And how do I do that? I do another loop that is going to go until size equals 1. So originally size started out at 0, or size started out at 1, and then size was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in here size is incremented, but it falls out of loop. So size is 7 right now. So I want to start here and print every element in the array, and I'll know when to stop when size is 1, because I have 1 extra in size. Size is 1 more than I need it to be. So instead of size equals 0 here, I make size equals 1. If you change this to 0, you'll see what I mean, but just remember that this is how you would do it. So now that I want to loop until size is 1. Right now size is 7. There's 6 elements in the array right now, but size is 7 because I increased size here, and when it looped around it didn't go back through. Okay, so I want to loop until size is 1. I'm going to decrease size, and then I'm just going to select the cell and take the value of the index is 0, and put it in the value of the cell. Okay, so let's see how this works. So there you can see index 0 is 2, index 1 is 67. Let's do this. Index 3 is 43. My array index 4 is 56. My array index 5 is 89, and my array index 6 is 78. And now it'll fall out of here because size is 1, and you can see it's going to end the sub. So that's basically it. Mess around with it because arrays are very useful, and they're going to help you out a lot. Just managing data and comparing things, looping through arrays is a good thing. So if you have any questions, let me know, and please comment. Thank you very much.